right, everybody. How you doing? My name is Austin Sly. If you don't know who I am yet, um, I was here once before, and I am back again. Before TJ, when we were looking for somebody, I was the interim youth leader, and I'm back in the saddle. I'm happy to be here. Glad to be here. Yeah. Before we get too far into things, I want to kind of just give you in case you don't know who I am or who is this dude? Give you a background on me a little bit. I grew up in Monroe, Washington, a long time ago, and um, I graduated in like 2002, so it makes me super old. I had a birthday like 4 days ago. I turned 36. I have a wife, Molly, who leads worship for the church, and I have three boys, Moses, Shepherd, and Isaac. Isaac is the newest. He was born April 16th, so he's not too old. And so we spend most of our time right now changing diapers and listening to him make bodily noises. He's a gassy child. Um, and my boys keep me pretty busy too. I like to do things outdoors. I like to go fishing. I like to build things with my hands. I like to play sports and like to watch sports. I like to watch a lot of weird sports, uh, the sports that you probably don't know of, like Australian rules football, and things like that. But that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm sure you'll get to know me more if you don't already, and if you do know me, then you could ignore all of that. Um, Up next, I'd like to talk. I just kind of give just a little shout out to TJ if he's even listening or watching. Maybe I'm not sure, but I want to thank him for his service for the youth. I mean, and for our church. It's been obviously it was difficult looking for somebody to to fill the void, and we did that, and he brought a lot to the table as far as just his heart, his technical skills, and his knowledge. It just is a lot to bring to the table. He's poured a lot into the youth, and we just want to thank him on my behalf to not handing me over something that's disastrous, but just giving me something to help me step up my game. Because I can tell you what, I am not as tech savvy as he is to one bit. So it will be interesting and challenging. But I just want to thank him for all that he's done for us and for you guys as well. Um, Next up, I just want to talk about a little bit about where we're at. I mean, what's going on right now. So right now we're kind of in a spot where we can do things differently, right? Like we're in a number one, just with the way society is a lot different, right? And so we're dealing with all of that stuff, but also, we're going into a transition period of, we're moving the different direction than TJ. I'm internally here, and we have the opportunity to do things differently if we want to, or do them the same if we want to. So the question ultimately is, are there things that you guys think are things that are good and great that we've been doing that you want to continue to do? Or next question is, are there things that you think maybe we could do that's different, different formats, different things, different ways of doing things? Those are all questions that are on the board. They're things that we can discuss and we can look at. Um, if we look, if we go to Isaiah and we look at Isaiah 43, 18 through 19, it says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing new things. Now it springs up, and do you not perceive it?" And so the question ultimately is like, God is doing things. So even if you're looking at this whole scenario and going, man, like we're without a youth pastor again, and here we're at. I just want to encourage you that, you know, God is doing things regardless, and we may not necessarily see it. He asks us to not dwell on these things of the past if we don't need to. There are definitely times where we need to look at the past and be reminded of things that have happened. There's also times that we have to remember that there are things going on, and there's things that God is making happen and moving, and He's bringing things into fruition through His plan, and we just may not understand it, and we need to be able to kind of remember that. Right? That's something that I think is important is understanding that God is working on things, and we just need to be receptive and understanding if that's the case, and not kind of get hung up. Um, you go to First Corinthians and it says, "However, it is written, what no eyes have seen, what no ear has heard, what no human mind can has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him." I mean, like I said, that's it's Paul again reminding us that like there are things that we just can't comprehend. We can't fully understand, God's intricacies of and the complexities of how his plan is. Um, but what we can understand is we can understand that in difficult times and times where we think that he has left us, we can definitely understand that he has not, and that he loves us and he cares for us and he has a plan for us. So as we go into this new season, I encourage you to just try to have a good mindset and a good thought process about the fact that God is doing something, he's moving, he has a plan, and help us to have good attitudes towards it, and be excited and looking forward to the plan that he's got for us. So with that being said, I want to kind of go through a quick idea here. What I want to talk about is breaking up into groups. Um, and this might be the kind of format we try to do unless I hear an uproar about it. But that would be that we kind of do it. I'm recording this earlier, so I would assume it would be what we're going to do, what we just did, is meet together in a big Zoom meeting with everybody there, so everybody can kind of see each other's faces and talk, and we'll play games and do that kind of stuff for a brief moment in time. And then we'll break off into a more elaborate video and discussion that we can have in our small groups afterwards. So that's kind of going to be the format, I think, as we go forward. But I just kind of want to, if you have objections or you don't like it or you think it's cool or whatever, let your leaders know so that they can get that information back to me, so that we can adjust if we need to, right? That being said, what I want you to discuss in your groups today is I want you to discuss what things you think are great and good that we're doing. Also, I want you to discuss things that I think that you may want to adjust or change. Some of the things may not be obviously possible. Some of the things may, but don't discredit something because you think maybe it's a weird idea. I want to walk through it and think about it, and you can walk through them in your groups, and then your leaders will give me back that information, and we'll discuss, what things can we do. If that's Wednesday's not a great day for everybody, then maybe we need to look at changing the date. If it's, I don't want to have this group Zoom call, I want to go back to just the live stream thing, then that's discussion we can have. If it's, I don't know, if it's something, I want something else during the week, like a game day in addition to the Wednesday, then let's talk about it. But I want to just kind of hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Ultimately, right, it's your youth group, right? It's your deal. And I want you guys to feel ownership of it and comfortable with it and enjoy it. I think that hearing God's word and learning about it should be an enjoyable process, and you should want to seek deeper into it. So whatever we can do as leaders to help that process, I want to facilitate that and help that come to fruition. So with that being said, at this moment in time, your leaders should be ready to break into your discussion with you guys, and you guys can just start talking about stuff. Hope you have great discussions. Love ya. Talk to you later.